Next time on the Californians, this is
Keith Horn's Chord of the Week.
one of my favorite sketches of all time on Saturday Night Live is the Californians. It ran mostly in 2012 and 2013 and starred Kristen Wiig, Bill Hader, and Fred Armisen, and had a bunch of other people guest starring, and I think they played it maybe at least a half a dozen times over those 2 seasons. It's just classic. And in every episode of the Californians, there's this one chord that they would play after some sort of shocking revelation, or at least shocking to the characters, and they'd zoom in on everybody's flabbergasted, ridiculous-looking faces, and they'd play this one chord repeatedly over and over again. Here's a clip from the show.
How do you know so much about Marina Del Rey?
And here's what that chord is. It's an 8-note chord that's played in a pyramid style, basically. It's a pyramid chord. Pyramid chord is when you play notes one at a time and just sustain each one of them. So, all right, so it's 8 notes. So it's really just a series of intervals. It's a minor ninth from D, again from A, minor ninth, a major seventh from D flat, and a major seventh from G. So you have minor ninth, major seventh, major seventh. Now I know in general, I always like to give chords a name, and it's not necessarily to show its functionality. For me, it's just to remember for my own mind what the chord could be called, so I can remember it and use it if I want to in the future. This one's hard to label, man. This is like, let's look at it again. If I were to try to find some order in this chord, which seems pretty chaotic, let's look at it. I do see an F sharp major triad here. I do see a C minor in there, and there's the D fifth. So with the F sharp, that gives you a D major. So you could think of this as 3 triads together: D major, C minor, and F sharp major. And I know some of you, especially you jazzers, let's pull it up again, just that version of it. Especially you jazzers are looking at it and going, well, that's got to be some sort of D dominant, some sort of altered D chord, right? Not really, because of the C sharp and the G that are in there, but it sort of weirdly gives that vibe. It almost sounds like kind of an altered D7, especially this. Right? It's got an 11 in there. So, you know what? I'm not even going to try to attempt to give it a name. For my own memory, I'm going to see the F sharp in here. I'm going to see the C minor and over a D fifth. That's how I'm going to remember it myself. It's obviously not functional. It's serialistic, and it's used to create this kind of comedic shock. So labeling it is kind of pointless, but I am curious what it could be called. So I'm curious what you guys would call it. And there are a few of you in particular where I want to know what you would call it. And I think you know who you are. Also, I don't even know who the composer is. It might be library music. It might be composed for the sketch. It could be, the music person on SNL. Music person, is that? Listen to me. The music person. It could be the music supervisor for the show who wrote it, who wrote that library. Either way, somebody wrote it. Maybe it's you. I don't know who did it. So if you wrote it, let me know. Or if anybody knows who wrote this what I consider a pretty iconic comedy chord. Let's figure out who wrote this thing, and leave a comment about that as well. And real quick before I go, I'll need a big favor from you guys. Get on the San Vicente and take it to the 10, switch over to the 405 until it dumps you off onto Mulholland, where you belong.
Yeah. Who this? This beat. Yo, who this? Yo, who this? Who this?